Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. Today, we are going ahead with the story Three Questions from where we left in our last lecture. We have learnt in the last lecture that the king and the hermit helped the wounded man, and the king made peace with his enemy king. Let's read more about the story. The king asked the three questions to the hermit again, and the hermit said that the king had been answered already, that the king requested him to explain. For the first question, hermit explained that present time is the most important time. He said, had the king not helped him in digging the beds, the bearded man would have killed the king. So, the most important time was when the king was digging the bed. In the answer to the second question, Hermit explained that the most important person for him was the one who was with him at that particular time. Like the hermit was important to the king, and the king was important to the wounded man. In the answer to the third question, Hermit said that doing good to the wounded man and the hermit was most important business for the king. As we all know that we are sent into the world for this purpose only. So the important work is to do that person good. Then the king became happy and satisfied with the answers of the hermit. Later, he returned to his palace. Students, I hope you all must have enjoyed the story and learned the three important things of your life. Now, let's see how much you have learned from the story. So, we would like to ask you few questions which you have to answer. Question number one for you is, what is the most important time to begin something? And the options for you is, number one, present time. Number two, never. Number three, any time. And number four, none of the above. The right answer for this question is present time. Second question for you is, what was the hermit's answer to the second question? Your options are, number one, the king should listen to his ministers. Number two, the king should listen to the person who was before him at a particular moment. Number three, the king should consult the priests. And number four, the advice of the doctors would be important to the king. And the right answer for this question is, the king should listen to the person who was before him at a particular moment. Next question for you is, what was the hermit's answer to the third question? And the options for you is, the most important thing for king was to do good to others. Number two, the most important thing to do was religious worship. Number three, the most important thing was to do good to himself. And number four, none of the above. And the right answer for this question is, the most important thing for king was to do good to others. Next question for you is, what would have happened to the king if he would have not helped the hermit? And the option for you are, number one, the hermit would have refused him to answer. Number two, the bearded man would have killed the hermit. Number three, the bearded man would have attacked the king. And number four, the soldiers would have attacked the hermit. And the right answer is, the bearded man would have attacked the king. Students, Now is a practice time. There are two questions for you which you have to answer. And question number one is, what are hermit's answer to the three questions? And number two is, which answer do you like the most and why? So students, this is the end of this session. We will meet you again in next session. Thank you.